Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. We come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. What a busy week. I don't know about you, but this Christmas stuff is starting to get to me. And it's been good. I'm really looking forward to the holiday season. Everything seems very positive to me. We had a party. It went well. You hear the jingle of the carols out there, and it's really great. And the weather has been fantastic. So I've really enjoyed this past week. So this show was brought to you by an organization called Million Kids, millionkids.org. And we're a local organization that combats human trafficking and online social media exploitation. And we have a guest today that we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to share with you a couple of cases that happened over the last week or so that I want you to know about. Million Kids has been, for the last 14 years, part of the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. We are now the advisor to the trainer there because they have some dynamite young people there that are out educating about human trafficking and social media exploitation, and it's a pleasure to work with them. One of the things that we do is share with you, the public, about some of the cases that they have processed. And this past couple of weeks, they have been very busy. They have gone in, and there are 3 cases of shutting down and going in and doing search warrants and making arrests in illicit massage parlors. And these mostly came from anonymous tips that would come in from people just like yourself out there. So human trafficking, to give you one version of it, is forced prostitution. And sometimes it takes place in illicit massage parlors. It can take place in all kinds of ways and places, but illicit massage parlors are kind of known for that kind of thing. So before we get everybody in a panic, I am not against massages, okay? I get them myself, and there are some wonderful places out there to get a massage. Actually, I should ask one of them to sponsor us now that I think about it, since I'm going there. But anyway, we are open to sponsorship for what it's worth. But this was an illicit massage parlor, and we don't do sponsorships with illicit massage parlors. In fact, we work with law enforcement to make sure that they are closed down. And you, the public, can keep an eye out for these, and you can report them. If you see a massage parlor that you think does not look legitimate, report it. Don't call 911. Call the non-emergency number. We want to save 911 for those really important cases. But call the non-emergency number of your police department and say, we have something here that just doesn't quite look right. An illicit massage parlor, usually, they don't look like a normal massage parlor. They don't have the normal menu of goods. They often will have very late hours. The entrances is often on the side or the back. They may have a heavy male clientele being very closed off. And you can just kind of look at it and go, that just doesn't look quite right. And bring it to the attention of your local law enforcement. Well, in this case, the first one, reporting supervisor, is my supervisor for what it's worth, Sergeant Jeff Hammond, amazing individual that leads the task force. The task force is called RCAT, Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force, and they received a tip about a possible massage parlor out in Palm Desert. It was at the 45,000 block on San Pablo Avenue. I didn't look up the name of it, but the operation was being done by someone, a 58-year-old resident out of Victorville, and he was maintaining a brothel. He was arrested in that case, and they had 2 young ladies in there that were identified as victims of human trafficking, and they were provided with resources. Same kind of thing happened down in Temecula. I love Temecula, go there regularly in that great city. This one happened to be on Jefferson Avenue, 27,400 Jefferson Avenue. This was a joint operation of RCAT, as well as the Southwest Core Team and the Metro Team. They went into that area that the massage parlor served a search warrant. As a result, they arrested Li Guan, a 40-year-old resident of Monrovia, and Zay Tao, 47-year-old resident of San Gabriel, arrested for solicitation of prostitution, and they were booked into the detention center. Again, they were able to rescue some victims of human trafficking in that case and be able to provide them with victim services. The third one, and they've been really, really busy, these guys. This one here is out of the Southwest Station. Let me find you the address here. I've got the person. Here we go. 31,300 block of Temecula Parkway. And in this case, it was Fang Wei, 41-year-old resident of Temecula, was arrested for solicitation of prostitution. And again, they found some victims in there, and they offered them services, and they were served, the people that are operating these massage parlors. So my point here is that the people that are involved in doing this take advantage of people who are especially vulnerable. And those people are victims of human trafficking. They're out there providing professional sexual services, but they're not getting the money. Prostitution is different than human trafficking, and I should make that very, very clear to you. You know, in human trafficking, it involves force, fraud, fear, and coercion. And what often will happen is that young ladies, especially, are brought in from foreign countries, and they are put in these areas, and they are not free to go. They often do not get the money that they make, and they are often treated very poorly, abused, and violated, exploited. And that makes it human trafficking. And I'm very, very proud of our team for going in and shutting these down and taking control and doing the search warrants, doing it legally, and putting these people out of business and being able to help the people that are trapped in there that cannot get free, and they don't get the money they make. They are often highly abused. So with that, I'm going to switch subjects on you here because I have a guest today, and I really want to get into it for the rest of the show. And my guest is a young lady that I have known and worked with for quite a long time. And to be open and fair about it, she's a good friend of mine. And I count her as someone that's very, very important in my life. And her name is Lynda Bergh Herring. And Lynda is a private investigator that has for many years specialized in assisting families and children, especially with families that are involved with child sex crimes or their child is a victim of that. You want to say hello, Lynda?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
We will give her a lot more time during the next three sections here, but Lynda is someone that has often worked with me and kids. She runs her own private agency. She supports law enforcement. She's very, very professional. And both she and I, in our friendship, are really, really passionate about keeping kids safe from predators, especially online. So we only have about a minute and a half here, Lynda. Let's get started. Tell the people about your new book. What's the name of it?
The name of my new book is Your Amazing Itty Bitty Keep Your Children Safe book. As the title sounds, it's a short book. It's only 40 pages long.
I can do that.
Right. So it's got a lot of, kind of heavy information, but it's in little tidbits and little snippets. So it makes it a bit easier to read and a good way to get this information out that is so important for parents, grandparents, teachers, anybody, everybody that knows a kid or sees a kid to help keep them safe.
I pulled your promotion off of Amazon. This book is available on Amazon. It's not too late for Christmas, folks. Anyway, one of the things it said is that there are 15 key steps to educating and protecting children from online predators. And so over the course of the next three segments, we're going to talk about what some of those are and why it's so important. So this book is available on Amazon. Is that right, Lynda?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Is it on Kindle, or is it just a hard copy?
Right now, it's just a paperback. It will
Uh-huh.
be available on Kindle in January,
Okay.
probably
And
not
it's
till
only
January.
$6.99. So, if you're looking for a gift for somebody and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this has got to be an absolute best buy for you. Okay, we're up against that break, folks. So stay with us and we'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, let me tell you about my favorite restaurant in Riverside, Monarch Asian Bistro. The atmosphere and decor are simply stunning. The service is great too. It's a wonderful environment for a romantic dinner or a family get-together. It's not just another Chinese restaurant. The Monarch Asian Bistro is upscale and it serves Thai food as well as unique Asian-inspired dishes that are just fabulous. My favorite is the pad see ew beef. My husband likes the orange chicken, and the Chinese chicken salad is always great. Our friends sometimes order the Emperor's Choice or Monarch steak. It is my favorite go-to place. Go ahead and give it a try. It's Monarch Bistro in Riverside, Canyon Crest Town Center next to Ralph's. They are open for lunch and dinner every day but Tuesday. Go ahead, give it a try. You're going to love it.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. I believe the four most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton and I have a guest today, Lynda Bergh Herring. And Lynda is a private investigator. She is an amazing lady. She handles all kinds of cases, but the cases that her and I have worked back on and forth on are when a family or a child is in some sort of trouble and they're needing a private investigator. And if you're looking for one, I highly recommend her. She is absolutely the fairest and smartest woman I've ever met on that subject. So she came out with this book, and her and I, we send emails back and forth, to be fair, probably 10 times a day. We're known for research, all of us. There is more to the team of Million Kids than me. And we exchange research, and we exchange research on ways that kids are being exploited and what some of the trends and like that. And so Lynda is really top of her game on something like that. And so she told me she wanted to write a book that made it simple for parents to kind of understand ways that they could simplify what is happening. So with that, Lynda, tell me how you went about it, what got you going into this, what kinds of situations, and especially that this book is helpful for.
What got me going into the book? Or
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I met the publisher. Her name's Susie Pruden. She owns Itty Bitty Books. I met her at a networking meeting. And, at networking meetings, you get up and you talk about what you do. You have 30 seconds to get your point across.
I
So
never make that.
right, it's hard. So I did my 30 seconds, but then luckily this particular group, after our luncheon meetings, we have what we call afterglow, where those of us that want to go hang out in the bar at the hotel and we talk.
I
And
beg
Susie
your
and I ended
pardon.
up, I know, right? So Susie and I ended up sitting next to each other at afterglow. And she looked at me and I looked at her and she said, "You need to write a book." And I said, "I need to write a book" at the same time. So it was like, I got to write a book. So during that little meeting, we came up with most of the chapter titles just while we were talking. And
Interesting.
that's how the book gets started. She's got a template. It's very quick and easy to write,
Uh-huh.
sort of, very quick and easy read. But yeah, there's 15 chapters, and each chapter has little tidbits on whatever the subject is, and it's all about keeping kids safe, helping them identify predators online, what they should and shouldn't do, what parents should and shouldn't do. It's, I think, pretty comprehensive for a little tiny itty bitty, shall we say, book.
Well, this is so important. I'm passionate about human trafficking, but I am just over the moon crazy about stopping kids from getting in trouble online. Those of you that have followed the show, and I meet you out there in the public all the time, and I so much appreciate you and your enthusiasm to protect your own kids, your own grandkids, and to keep them safe. And the world of online exploitation, and I think Lynda will agree with this, has changed dramatically over the last 12 months, and more than I can ever truly express to you. And it is because of a technology transformation where the whole world is connected by internet, which puts the bad guy right in your kid's bedroom. Your kid now has money transfer. In fact, they had it before you with Bitcoin and video gaming. You have geolocation software so people can tell where you live. Predators know everything about you. They can pick up the picture of your house. And so all of these things, and now your kid is not talking to 45 people they know, they're talking to millions of people. So I value what you've got here, Lynda. Let's just talk a little bit. I haven't read your book yet because it's just coming out, but let's talk a minute about what's some of the highlights or some of the warning signs. I say this, kids make relationships online, but how do we teach them when something's empowering or when something's exploitive?
That can be tricky. I think kids need to know, people they all want to be accepted, included. They want to make friends with everybody. So
Yeah.
they need to know how to tell if someone that's contacting them online wants to be their friend and has their best interests at heart or does not. And when I go out and speak, and it is hidden in this book somewhere, I tell kids that, one of the first things a stranger is going to ask you is how old you are, which they should know already how old you are, because you shouldn't be talking to strangers. Don't talk to strangers online. But, kids will be kids. And so they do talk to strangers online. And if someone is talking to you and asking you a lot of questions, but not saying anything or divulging anything about themselves,
That's a big one.
that's a huge red flag.
Yes.
Because they just want to know about you so they can probably use what they get against you somehow.
Yeah.
So that's huge. They need to know that instead of thinking, oh, wow, this person is just interested in me. It's not, kids need to know it's not all about them. And
so many times when I analyze these cases, which is what you and I do, one of the things that I see in there is the kid will say, well, did you know the person you're talking to? Well, kind of. And you say, well, what does that mean? Well, they're a friend of a friend. Well, how well do you know that friend? Well, not that well, but they're a friend of a friend. And I see that over and over of predators using that line of, oh, I know somebody you know, to get in.
That's true. They do. And they'll try to, they're out there on the internet. They're trolling profiles and things, looking for potential targets. And they'll look at a friends list before they make contact with the child.
Sure.
and say, oh, yeah, I know Jimmy from baseball, or, I know this girl from the mall, that store you shop at all the time. They do a little bit of research before they start their contact, at least from what I've seen. They're not just blindly targeting.
And the other thing that I think parents don't understand, especially like on TikTok and Instagram, is that they can see your followers. Once they're a follower of yours, they can see the followers. And that's one of the things that I've seen in this thing where we're having, especially targeting males, is that what they'll do is that they will, if they can get the kid to send a nude or a partial nude, they will show the kid back that picture that they sent and then a list of all their followers. And the kid panics because I remember one case where a kid ended up taking his own life. It was very tragic. And he said, or he wrote down to somebody, when I saw my mom's name on that list and here was my nude picture, I panicked. And I think that that's an important thing for parents to know, is that with these new technologies like TikTok and Instagram, where you're on there with millions of people, they can see your followers.
That is very important. And parents also need to make sure their kids know that when someone does something like that, convinces the kid to send a nude or partially nude photo and then threatens to send it out to friends, including parents, right. The kids need to know they can safely go to their parent and tell them what's going on. Oh, that's huge.
That is so huge. I mean, I read so many of these stories where the parent said, I told them, don't do this, don't do that. But I never said, but if you do, you can always come to me. Right. And we will work through it together. And I think that in today's online world, that's an important statement.
There was just a stat posted by, I think, Child Rescue Coalition that said that 60% of kids said they probably would not tell a parent if someone sent them an unsolicited nude. And then when they talked to kids that actually happened to, 90% of them said they did not tell.
Right.
They got to tell. They have to be comfortable, not afraid to tell, or at least if not a parent, a trusted adult, somebody, as opposed to freaking out and doing something crazy, like trying to pay the person or go meet the person, heaven forbid.
We have a movie, as you know, called Sextortion, The Hidden Pandemic, that's also on Amazon. And in that, it was shown in New Jersey about 3 months ago. And when it was shown, 2 boys came forward and they had been paying blackmailers. One of them had paid $8,000. One of the conversations you need to have with your kid is, number one, never, 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 never send a nude. Okay, yes. Especially now from here on out. But if you do, don't send money because you will never give them enough money. Right. And so this is important to understand that there's been a shift in sextortion. In the past, they want more photos. They still often do. But now they want money, and that is because they're overseas telemarketing companies that are being ran by cartels that are blackmailing our kids. It's all about using our kids for money laundering. Imagine having your kid violated by somebody from Nigeria. This is Opal Singleton. It is break time, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton and I have a guest, my good friend Lynda Bergh Herring. I want to take a second off here. We have had a sponsor in the past called Mamma Mia's Restaurant down off of La Sierra in Riverside. I've been going to them for a long time, and they're just great, great friends. And a couple of guys that have from La Sierra University that started it up, and they're doing really, really well. They've expanded 3 times now, and they just opened a new restaurant in Fullerton. So if you're out in the Fullerton area, look up Mamma Mia's. Alex is the manager over there. He is a good friend of ours that we saw as they were opening here. So go to Mamma Mia's in Fullerton, give them some support, and you will have a lovely evening. I want to get back to our conversation now with Lynda Bergh Herring, and we are talking about things that we can do to keep our kids safe online. So pick up from there, Lynda. What are some of the important things parents need to know?
I work a lot of missing kid cases as well as educating on this, keeping them safe from online enticement. And a lot of those missing kids go missing because they were contacted by someone online first. It's connected to social media. And every time I ask a parent if they know who their kids are talking to online, if they're talking to strangers, the parents say, "My child would never do that." Right. They always say that. And so then we get into discussing, well, do you know who they're talking to or what they're doing? And something that I suggest to them always is that they should have a social media contract with their kids.
Amen.
So
I believe in that.
Yes, they need to have that. The kids need to agree that they're going to discuss with the parents every app they're using, how they use them. The parents should have their passwords and their PINs.
Yes.
Which I know is a little controversial, but they should have it. And I suggest to parents, even though I know the kids can go change the password, but they should have those passwords written down somewhere safe, like in a sealed envelope, not so that they can spy on their kids, but so they can check what they're doing for their safety.
Actually,
a lot of parents.
I want to pick up on that a minute, Lynda, because I think that social media must be a conversation, an ongoing conversation between parent and child, not just wagging their finger and threatening this and threatening that, but helping them understand the world they live in, and that it's they're the first generation in all of history that can reach the entire world, and the entire world can reach them. So nobody is ever prepared for all the ways this can go wrong. And so it's got to be a partnership on how to protect your child. And so I think your thing with this of sharing the passwords and having that open dialogue is the key to success.
I think it's very, very important. And, parents roll their eyes at me, kids roll their eyes at me. But, when that kid goes missing or gets exploited, the first thing they want to do is find out who they were talking to. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those things could be avoided if, the parents knew. And I'm going to say it here. I always say I'm not disrespecting the parents ever. I'm not exactly an expert. I'm not a parent. I've never given birth to a child. I've worked with tons of them over the years, hundreds, maybe thousands of them over the years. But I'm not a parent, so I have to have that disclaimer in here. But they need to pay more attention to what their kids are doing. There are kids that are openly talking to strangers online and making no attempt to cover it up from their parents. Right. So a little monitoring of their social media activity could make a huge difference in that.
I'd like to add one more thing on that. I have seen so many parents. First of all, you and I, our hardest thing that we overcome is this belief of it's not going to happen to me. And a parent says not going to happen to my kid. My kid's too smart for that. And the kid itself will say it's not going to happen to me. And one of the things I've seen over and over is parents will say, well, yeah, I know they're talking to somebody in Ireland or Maryland or Virginia. And so I don't worry about it. They're a long ways away. Trust me, that is no consolation. These people know how to come out and find your child. And I've seen it over and over and over. Don't get lulled into that. Well, they're just online. They're not anywhere close.
That is true. Online is like being next door,
Yes.
no matter what they say. I actually have a case I'm working on right now involving she's 19 years old, so a young adult, still a teenager, but a young adult, who has been communicating with someone for 3 years. So that started when she was 16. And he claims that he lives in the UK, but he doesn't. He lives 3 blocks away from her. She doesn't know it. Like, her parents hired me to try to find out about this guy because they were a little concerned. And he's got a whole life that he's pretending to have. And meanwhile, somehow he magically knows everything she's doing, every place she goes, everyone she talks to. So he hasn't done anything bad to this girl yet.
Yeah.
And I told the parents that when I talked to them, I said, he hasn't done anything yet. It's just a matter of time. She's either going to be, it's going to be a money thing or an assault thing or a broken heart.
Yeah.
Which could lead to depression, suicide, whatever. So, but she believes the guy's, in another country, so it's safe. He's literally 3 blocks away from her.
Yeah, these kinds of naivety, if you will, that you just kind of assume that it's all going to be okay. But these guys are good. Many of these predators will have multiple victims, and they will know about that person's life as if they know everything. And I remember one boy that was highly violated, and he said, I had to do it. They knew everything about me. They had a picture of my mom. They had a picture of where she worked. And he felt threatened, but did not go and tell the parent what was going on.
That's the really scary part, them not telling.
Yeah.
When I was really young, when I was 9 years old, one of the little girls at my dance studio was being molested by her dad. I went home and I told my mom. And back in those days, you didn't talk about that stuff. She slapped me for talking that way.
Yeah.
So I never went to her again with anything important. I went to my dance teacher, my grandmother, my dad. Luckily, I had people around that were good people. But these kids need to know they can talk to somebody, and they need to talk to somebody. They can't just hide this stuff and keep it inside and not say anything.
Right. So I think that your idea of how do you test out a relationship is really, really important for all the kids to know. I often will tell kids a big sign that you're going into trouble here is they will move you from one app to the other. Or on a dating site, they'll say, oh, let's talk offline. And that gives you a hint. They're trying to find out, number one, if you're willing to follow them, but they're also trying to find out if you're law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I think another big red flag is they tell you not to tell. I hear that. I go, if you can't tell what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Now, that seems a little extreme to a teenager.
Well, but it's when I talk to kids about this stuff, I say, back in my day, when a child was being molested, the molester would say, don't tell, this is our little secret.
Yeah.
And I'll go, these online predators are doing that with you kids now. And it's funny because half of them, their eyes get really big, like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah. If it's supposed to be their little secret, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, another one that I often share with kids that I think is so important, and I've seen it over and over in our public speaking that we do, is that you may want to see what this person's like, but do not go out and meet up with them, especially alone. Kid after kid goes missing because they just want to get in the car and see what he's like, and then poof, they're gone. Their phone's gone, they're gone. and like that. And I'm saying never, never, ever go out and meet up with someone you met online. If you're going to meet up with them, it needs to be in a group setting with a lot of people so that you have protection.
Right. Even as an adult, I wouldn't go out and meet a stranger online. And I am trained on how to protect myself. So, yeah, they need to know not to do that. They still do at times, but
they're curious. They want to know if that person's really like they are. But in the talks and the cases that you and I talked about and reviewed, time and time again, that ends badly.
It does. It does. I had a case that I worked a few years ago that I talk about. It's a long story. I have to be really fast here. At the end of the case, we found the missing girl, but she was by herself in a hotel room. And we asked why she was in the hotel room still when her predator had left. And she said, because he told me he was going to be back in half an hour. And if I was not here, he would go get my little sister.
Oh, wow.
So he'd been talking to her for weeks. He knew all about her family because she shared all that information.
It's a tough world out there. It really is. Yeah. Well, my guest is Lynda Bergh Herring. She has a book out on Amazon. We'll talk more about it next section. It's break time, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited, Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited, Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590. The Answer.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. Our guest today is Lynda Bergh Herring. She has authored a book. She is a private investigator who has worked with Million Kids, and she does public speaking. If you're looking for a good public speaker, she is a dynamite private investigator, especially for families and protecting children. And she has a new little book that's out. It's only $6.99 on Amazon. It'll be a great gift for Christmas. And it is called the Itty Bitty Keep Your Children Safe book. So I'm going to kind of butt out a little bit here, Lynda, if you will, because I want you to tell the people why they should buy this book, where they should buy the book, and like that. Would you take that from there?
Sure, absolutely. Number one, why should you buy this book? Well, it is an itty bitty book. It's short. It's got 15 little 2-page chapters in it. But those little 2-page chapters have a lot of information, and it's a lot of basic information that you can use to help educate yourself on how to keep your kids safe, educate your kids on how to keep your kids safe. And it also includes, what to do if you see a child that's possibly in danger, being sextorted, or trafficked, or exploited in some way. So when I was writing it, I tried to not use a lot of technical terms, not use a lot of investigative terms, which I tend to speak in a lot. After 42 years as an investigator, it's hard to talk like a normal person sometimes. And I was trying to write, like a normal person as well. There are parts of it that I've been told are terrifying, but that's because this is a terrifying topic.
Mm-hmm.
I always say when I go out and speak, if I had kids, they'd hate me because I wouldn't let it be on the internet, or I would be, monitoring every single thing that they were doing. But people need to know that no matter where you live, in your safe little bubble, wherever you are, this stuff is happening. And
Yes.
especially more and more online. All our kids are online. They have phones. I have a friend who's 5-year-old
I know.
wants a phone. And I was like, you buy that kid a phone, I'm going to come take it. I mean, I literally told my friend that. I said, he cannot have a phone.
Seeing
And
prepubescent kids online just gives me the chills.
it
There's
kills
so many
me.
ways that can go wrong.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
she's like, well, he won't be able to just call everyone. I said, he'll figure it out. And when he wants something he's not supposed to have, you're going to go, okay, because she's busy doing other things.
Mhm.
And I said this before, I never try to disrespect a parent because I know that parenting is a very difficult job. But we need to know how to stay more on top of what the kids are doing. And
Right.
knowledge is power. It's,
Yes.
knowledge
Mhm.
is hugely, people say that all the time, but they need to be educated. And there's a lot of information in here that describes not only who's at risk, basically everyone. That's short. How to talk to kids about dangers of social media. Just saying be careful. No, that doesn't cut it. There's
No.
more to it. They need to
Yes.
know what to look for, what to do if someone contacts them in an inappropriate way, sends them an inappropriate photo.
Mhm.
Several years ago, my former husband's son, so my former stepson, a long time ago, before all this was such a common thing to hear about, he was talking to somebody on AOL Instant Messenger. So years ago, right? And he came into my office and he says, oh my gosh, this woman sent me this picture and I don't know what to do. He was freaking out. The
Mhm.
best part about that is he freaked out and he came to me.
Yes.
He didn't do anything else. And that's
Yeah.
what kids need to know. And I don't think I'd even talked to him about, I talked to him about talking to strangers online, but I don't think we even discussed what do you do if someone sends you a photo.
Yeah.
And the first thing he thought to do was to run to me and tell me, because he was afraid he was going to get in trouble because the person sent him a photo. And I was like, it's not your fault. I go, you didn't send her anything, right? He's like, no, he was like 11.
Uh-huh.
And he looked like he was 16 and he was 11. And he goes, oh, I would never do that because, but so many kids nowadays think nothing of it.
Yes.
They think
Actually,
nothing of it.
the statistics coming out of thorn.org, 1 out of 6 boys and 1 out of 7 girls have sent a nude pic.
Yeah.
And anytime you have a nude online, you are in danger.
Right.
Because you can't control. Once it's out there, you'll have no ability to control where it goes. I wanted to add one thing that you said that I remember that always gets me. When I study all these cases involving young boys, and so many of these sextortion cases now are teenage boys that are highly successful, very smart, and like that. But that the girl will come to them in a moment of weakness for them. like in the middle of the night, or maybe when they're playing a video game and they're all, hyped up and that sort of thing and wanting to be competitive, or maybe they've just broken up with their girlfriend, and they'll catch them in a moment where they don't normally have that thought out judgment.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's part of the reason why kids shouldn't be allowed to sleep with their electronic devices with them.
I agree with that. The last number I saw, 69% of kids sleep with their phone. I'm telling you, folks, how good are the decisions you make at 3 a.m, let alone your kid?
Yeah, I do a lot of inappropriate shopping then.
Not me.
I do. I wake up at 3 a.m, I'm on my phone. Oh, that's a deal. Let's buy that. So, yeah, kids do not make the best decisions. I recently spoke to a group of kids that were in a program for, juvenile offenders or people on the border of possibly becoming an offender. And I asked them, I said, do you sleep with your phone? I do. And one kid, I said, so who do you talk to or who do you communicate with? Oh, anyone that pops up on Reddit or Snapchat or TikTok. I was like, those are not your friends. Those are strangers. Oh, I've made some friends on there. I go, still not your friends. Not safe. Do not talk to those people. Yeah, it really is. And they think nothing of it, just like they really do. A lot of them think nothing of sending a nude photo.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So this book is called Itty Bitty, Your Amazing Itty Bitty Keep Your Children Safe book, right?
Yes.
So if they go under Itty Bitty, will they find Keep Your Children Safe?
They will. They can go to Itty Bitty.
Okay.
They can also, on Amazon, they can just search Keep Your Children Safe and it pops up. At least right now it pops up. Or they can go on Amazon and search my name and it pops up.
Okay.
So it's very easy to find.
The 15 Key Steps to Educating and Protecting Children from Online Predators, $6.99. You have about a minute or so here before we start to close out. Lynda, anything you want to share with parents out there?
I just want to say we need to do everything we can to protect our kids. So, and that's education is number one. Don't be afraid to talk to them. You can't be embarrassed to talk to them about something. There's so many people that, everybody has sex. Everybody has a body. Everybody, hello.
And now everybody has a phone.
Right. Everyone's got a phone. And unfortunately, things happen with those three things together. So kids need to know if you do something stupid, probably shouldn't say stupid. If you make a bad decision, you send a photo, someone coerces you into it, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to get in trouble. A lot of kids think if they sent a photo of themselves, they're going to get in trouble. And I say, if they're manipulated into doing it, the person that manipulated them is the criminal. The child is the victim.
And kids need to understand that if they report, they can not only save themselves, but they can save other kids. These guys never have only one victim.
Right. They have hundreds of victims.
Well, Lynda, I really appreciated having you on the show. It's always a pleasure to work with you and share ideas and monitor cases and like that. I hope that people will go to Amazon and buy this book. I also want to remind our audience, we still have about another 10 days before Christmas that we are selling and shipping the I Believe in You challenge coins. And this helps fund our cause. And we've been selling quite a bit of them. You can get them in a velvet bag. You can get them in a gift box, and you can get them just the straight coin, $20 or $25. And it is a gift that will last a lifetime with your children and your grandchildren, and they can give it to their children someday. It is a beautiful challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side, and the other side it says, stand tall, you are loved. Folks, we're coming to the end of the year, and it has been one of the hardest years for me and kids. We are out there fighting for you every day to protect our kids and keep our kids safe from predators. But as we're gearing up to go into 2025, we need support. We need financial support. We need your prayers. We need your donations. We appreciate you. With the human trafficking coming on, with the issue of the borders next year, and all that is happening with online exploitation, this is the most challenging time of our life. Lynda is part of our team. We have a whole team of us that go out and speak and educate. We deal with real cases, and we do prevention and intervention. If that's important to you, go to millionkids.org and hit that donate button. We truly, truly appreciate it. Well, it's Christmas time, so put your arms around your family, let them know how much you love them, how proud you are of them. And we're going to see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.